Daniel.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this May 15th Board of Supervisors meeting. I call it to order at this time. And Mr. Slade wouldn't mind doing an invitation. I'd appreciate it.
Let's pray. Holy Father, we acknowledge once again your presence with us here today, and we thank you for that. Lord, we don't want to take for granted the privilege that it is to serve our fellow Rankin Countyans. Father, the honor that it is to be able to lead this great group of people who are Rankin County citizens, Lord, and how you have blessed us abundantly. Father, we want to take that opportunity and that privilege and do the very best that we can with it. And we need your help, Lord. We need your wisdom and your discernment today. Father, we are mindful that there are many who serve us on a daily basis. They make sacrifices, Lord. They put themselves in danger in order to keep us protected. Father, we thank you for them. And I ask you to bless them and protect them in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, we don't have any public comment or recognition at this time. We have a motion to approve old business, minutes of old business. Motion approved by Mr. Morrow. Who seconded? Second, Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion approved by Mr. Cross. Second, Mr. Bishop. Any discussion? Not. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, Ms. Judy Fortenberry.
Thank you. I'm requesting authority to void the tax receipts on PIN number 42209 for the tax years of 2011, 2012, and 2016. This is part of the Ed Span Road that the county took in, and these receipts just didn't get taken off.
Second.
Motion approved, Mr. Morrow. Second, Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, go ahead.
I just want to ask a question.
Go ahead.
I missed that meeting. When did we take in Ed Span Road for? Or when did we, it was on our last meeting Thursday, right?
No, it's been a meeting.
Yeah.
We didn't take any road in last meeting.
Ed Span, somebody asked about that. I forget what it was. We didn't take that in.
We
or something.
didn't? Okay.
No, it
All
was
right.
more, it was something to do with right of way or something.
Did we acknowledge that
We
it's, what happened, that's the road that has the school bus turn, or looked like a school bus turnaround, but we were just acknowledging that that's actually a public road. It was miscoded on the tax assessor's map as private property,
Yes.
and actually it's a public road.
Yeah. Sorry,
We were
Judy,
just
that had nothing to do with what
correcting
you were
the
doing, so.
I remember that question being asked. I knew it was something like what you
We
said.
just
Okay.
fixed what the reality is.
Okay.
It was an error
Thank you.
of tax assessor's map.
All right. Mr. John Sullivan is not here.
John's
No.
not here. He asked that I take
Okay.
his item this morning. Petition for change of assessment of 2016 real property assessment roll.
Motion approved, Mr. Gaines. Second, Mr. Cross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Mike Harrison, road manager.
Request approval of AT&T utility permit constructing a fiber along the route of Bradford, Arundel, Benwick, Tenby, installed between Bradford and Grant Ferry Road.
I'll make that motion. But hey, I want to add one thing to it though. I believe that where they cut into the road was at 750 Bradford. I know they'd already started it, got ahead of the game.
Mhm.
And again, I would remind whoever that is with the AT&T side of this deal is we need to be contacted on the front side, not the back side. But I know I've had several discussions with some of the people over there. And it's extremely, extremely important.
Yeah, sure. And I've got they sent me something the other day saying they would, if any damage was done, they would.
Okay.
Well, why are they cutting the road? They getting bored.
I don't know. This is a strip. It's a weird thing. It's about probably that long, maybe that wide. But I mean, I saw them do it.
Huh.
So I mean, it's.
I think they may have buckled it when they tried to bore under the road, Jerry.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
It's a little. It's
All
a
right, well,
slip
they're
property like
responsible for the damages.
that.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
I'll make that motion approved.
Motion by Mr. Cross, second Mr. Morrow. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, Mr. Parker.
Thank you.
Mr. Parker, I like the way you got to jump on that.
Oh, yes,
They're
sir.
already standing there on go.
Well, I was inspired after the groundbreaking.
I like that. Keep that up, Jessica. Good job.
Yes, punishment. Get up. Thank you. I have 4 items. The first one is a development called Hamilton out of Fanning Landing Circle. We'd already, the board had already approved construction plans. They had a couple of revisions, and I'm recommending approval of those revised construction plans.
So moved.
Second.
Motion approved, Mr. Cross, second, Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed?
Thank you. Next item is a development called Fallen Oaks out of Highway 25. We held the preliminary development conference. Everything appeared to be in order, so I would recommend approval of that preliminary plat.
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
No second.
Motion approved by Mr. Gaines, second, Mr. Bishop. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed?
Thank you. Next item is a development called Spring Hills on Florence Bynum Road. We had a preliminary development conference. Everything went well, so I recommend approval of that preliminary plat.
So moved.
Motion approved, Mr. Morrow,
Second.
second, Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed?
Thank you. The last item that I have on the agenda is requesting authority for the chief LPA official, which is president of the board, to request activation of the Spillway Road widening and North Shore Drive turn lane improvement project through the Mississippi Department of the LPA program.
So moved.
Second.
Motion approved by Mr. Cross, second, Mr. Morrow. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Mr. Slade.
Mr. President, the first 4 items are to set public hearings on the same day, June 1, 2017, at 9 a.m. I would ask that those be taken as one motion. Donnie Taylor, nuisance property; Kenneth and Tammy Dye, nuisance property; Patricia Hayes, nuisance property; and Scott Leonist and Kevin Scott, nuisance property.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Morrow, second, Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Item E under my section is the request for an amendment of the site plan for the Bumpers Restaurant. You will recall we had a hearing on the site plan, and the board weighed in, and there was an option between 2 different choices. One was what we'll call the typical Bumpers visual, which is more of a corporate look, and then another is a look that's more integrated to the existing building, same brick fascia and all. And so the board felt like, and the property owner was okay with going with this integrated approach, which is the brick facade. He's come back and he has requested to go to the original look of the building. So
I agreed. I went down and looked at that, and I agree. Once we looked at it, if you're driving from either direction, you know, unless you got something that really kind of stands out, it's not as visible. And so I asked to have it put back on to change that. They have a long-term lease on this also, so I look for this to be here for some time.
That's even worse news. I just don't like the wood, but that's okay. You know, I like the more integrated look from an architectural standpoint, but that's no big deal.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that big a deal to me either. But once I rode down and looked at it and kind of saw from passing, you know, unless this kind of caught your eye where you would know it's there. So anyway, I just asked that we go ahead and approve that, change that, and approve that particular.
Jared, are you making that in the form of a motion to authorize the amendment to the site plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second.
All right, motion by myself, second by Mr. Bishop. Any discussion? Not all in favor say aye. All opposed?
Last item is an appeal of our building official's decision that an accessory building cannot be occupied as a dwelling. This is at 601 Three Prong Road and 405 Oakley Circle in the estates of Woodbridge. And so at this time, Renee, if you will, fill the board in on that situation, and then I'll ask if there's anyone here to speak on the appeal of the building officials. Y'all are here? Okay, very good. Renee, if you'll go forward.
2 property owners came into the office and pulled a permit for a shop with a bathroom only. They also pulled permits to build a new home on those same lots at the same time as they got the shop permit. We've done one inspection out there. They didn't call for a plumbing or a foundation. They only called for a framing inspection. And when we were there, the walls were open to the studs. There was no insulation. They're using temporary power. There was no primary heat source installed. They'd also be required to have a stove if it's a true dwelling. They moved into those structures without our knowledge. We were not aware that they planned to live in those shop
First
buildings.
you're saying, though, that they went a lot further than their work that we have not done any permit approvals on.
We didn't do inspections.
Inspections,
on
yeah,
the plumbing
right.
or the foundation there on the shop building. Now, they did get the correct inspections for the homes. One of the homes is at the plumbing stage. It was recently roughed in. And then the other house, it had been started on the framing, and that structure or the framing actually burned over the weekend. So
Well,
Y'all tracking with us here? You got a shop side of the ground, they're living in it, they're constructing their home.
Right.
Okay.
But this is
So
two
make sure
different
everybody's tracking.
people, though.
Two different
different
property
people.
owners, that's correct.
And are they both living in shops, or just one living in a shop?
both.
Both live in shops, okay. And both of them are in violation,
Right.
okay.
Okay, so you guys are welcome to come forward, give your name, address, and explain to the board how it is that you want to appeal the building official's decision not to allow those to serve as residents.
My name is Forrest Houston. I am residing at 405 Oakley Circle. Again, we had are appealing the decision here with the building official. We had a special circumstance. We've had our home for sale for quite some time, and when it finally did sell, we had no other location to move to. We stayed in a hotel for about 2 weeks, and when we were able to move into the home, or the shop itself, we went ahead and did so. Again, I understand that we have not met the proper requirements and such as that, but we are asking that you would give us a little leeway and allow us to finish the shop and finish the houses as we move forward.
Do you have any children?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I'm going to tell you why I'm against it. I'll speak. It's my district out there in that area, but one of the reasons I'm against it is because if we don't follow and comply with that residential building code, it's a life safety issue of it.
Sure.
I've been a fireman for 20 years, and from the same side of the risk of that is the reason we have the residential building code in place for things that can happen and stuff like that. It's nothing more to me than a life safety issue.
Sure.
So the fear of something happening on a non-compliant structure drives me insane as far as worry and stuff like that.
Right.
So my issues on that is if it's not compliant to that residential building code, which is crucial for life safety issues, I'm against it. So that's my take on it. I hate the misfortune and the stuff that's happened, obviously in the last 24 hours
Yes.
at your residence, and I hate for something like that to happen. But from the life safety side of stuff, which is why the residential building code is crucial here in the county. So
Sure. I completely understand and agree. But I would request that you allow us to build it to the code. Could we be allowed to do that? If we build it, again, to what she's.
how long you plan on living in the store?
Well, until yesterday, we were planning on, maybe 4 months. But again, yesterday afternoon, the structure caught fire and burned to the ground. So
And now the structure is one you had started? You were starting
my
building-
permanent home.
Right.
My permanent home.
You started building it?
yeah.
Okay.
Let me have, Jared, let's walk
Whatever.
through that. I think there's probably going to be a time lag if we allow them to
There, the permanent